Beast is directed by Bill Condon, who is known for directing Twilight's Breaking Dawn Part 1 and 2.
And it stars Emma Watson, Dan Stevens, Luke Evans, and Josh Gad, among other A-listers.
And unlike Bill Condon's other two movies that I mentioned earlier, I felt like this movie is actually directed very well. I felt like this movie was very good. A lot of things that I liked about this movie is I felt like I connected to the story a lot more, even than the cartoon. In the cartoon, I'm not going to say I didn't connect with it. I'm not, in this review, I'm not talking bad about the cartoon. I'm just saying what this movie did better than the cartoon. And I felt like I really connected with these characters a lot more.
And to sort of contradict with what you just said, I honestly felt like throughout this entire movie, it just sort of felt flat. I don't know, there's something about it. It didn't really have that spark or that spunk, I guess, that the cartoon had. It just felt pretty cold throughout the entire movie, sort of. And if you've seen the old cartoon, this version is pretty much the same exact storyline. There's a selfish prince who turns away an old woman who wants to stay in his castle for the night. And she turns out to be an enchantress who puts a curse on him and the entire castle, and gives him a rose. And if he hasn't found love before that rose dies, then he'll stay a beast forever. But if he's able to find love before the rose dies, then he'll be transformed back into a human.
And let me go back into the story a little bit more and more into the characters. The reason why I loved this movie a lot is I felt like a lot of things made a little bit more sense. Not like a whole bunch more, just a little bit more. There's a few things they changed that actually I loved about it. And the characters, I felt like I knew who the Beast was a lot more, because instead of just having little pictures flash up like they did in the cartoon, they actually went into detail about what happened to him, and they actually go back into his childhood and they explain who he is and why he is the way he is. And even Belle and her father, they explain their backstory. They explain a lot of people's backstory. And another thing I want to talk about is the character of Gaston, and I'm not going to go into detail about what happens. I feel like they make him seem a little bit more evil than they do in the cartoons because of certain actions that he does.
Even though that pretty much the entire storyline was the same as the cartoon, they did add a little thing here or two, and they did add a song towards the end that was probably my favorite song of this movie, and they added for this version. But there's something about Luke Evans, who played Gaston in this movie. His acting was good. I'm not saying anything bad about his acting. His evilness didn't really feel believable to me. I felt that the evilness in the cartoon was a lot more understandable, I guess. But there's just something about Luke Evans as Gaston. It just didn't feel right for me.
And since you brought up the acting, I want to go ahead and go over that a little bit. I actually love the acting in this movie. Emma Watson, guys, I was not expecting her to do good. I don't see her in a lot. And I was kind of disappointed that they picked her for Belle, but I honestly felt like she became Belle in a certain way. I felt like she was Belle in this movie, and she acted so well. Another thing is her voice actually was really nice in this movie, and I understand they changed it and stuff like that, but she really had me believe her character and her as an actress.
Like you said, Emma Watson, she definitely did a lot better than I was expecting. I don't feel like she did great, but she definitely did a lot better than I was expecting. And like you said, her singing, and really the entire cast of this movie did a great job at singing. The singing was one of the best aspects of this movie, to be honest.
A negative that I had for this movie, and I actually have two negatives, but I'm going to bring this one up. And that is, I felt like the emotional aspect wasn't there. And I'm not talking about like my emotion towards the characters, how I felt about the characters, because I really truly felt connected to them. But the scenes in which I was supposed to feel sadness or emotion in some way, I felt like I didn't feel as much emotion as they were wanting me to feel. And another negative that I had about this movie was I felt like the first 20, 30 minutes or so maybe, it felt awkward. It wasn't like a horrible feeling, it was just something about it, and I think it mainly had to do with the editing of the movie. There was times whenever they switch over to certain things, you know, obviously, but something about the way they did it just felt really awkward.
At the beginning, towards about somewhere in the middle, I didn't really like too much. It did pick up towards the middle, and then obviously the end, it picked up a lot. But I honestly didn't really like how the beginning was. Another complaint that I have about this movie is the CGI. It was far from being awful, but I feel like it could have been a lot better than it was, especially with the Beast.
Well, guys, I'm going to go ahead and say I was really surprised by this movie. I wasn't expecting to like it this much at all. I thought all the acting was great. I thought the storyline was very well done. I thought everything, the connections between characters were good, very good. I only had those few little issues. So I'm going to go ahead and give Beauty and the Beast an A-.
And this movie is far from being bad. I would definitely recommend it to anyone who's a fan of the cartoon. I just feel like it could have been better than it was. So I'm gonna give Beauty and the Beast a B.
Well, guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also, comment below and tell us what you thought about this movie. Tell us if you thought you agree with us. Tell us what you thought about this review, because we really like to see those comments below.
And don't forget to follow us on social media. We have a Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all at 2 Awesome Men.
Yeah, guys, and as always, thank you so much for watching, and you will see us later.